At some point, you're going to have a bad day. And the truth is, everybody will have a bad day. It could be this week, it could be next week. I have many bad days and I have many good days. I am a human, so are you. And today I want to talk to you about this. When it comes to serving our guests, whether you're serving in the kitchen, what is the expectation for you or a team member that is working alongside of you if they had a bad day or if you had a bad day? And you need to realize the standard of service is not going to be compromised if you've had a bad day or a good day. A customer works hard for their money, and you work hard for your money and every dollar you make. A customer make $10 an hour, they may make $20 or $50 or $100 an hour. It doesn't matter. They're choosing to give that money to you and our team to provide a service and an experience and food, and they have a standard in mind, right? They have a set of expectations coming into the relationship, and they sure deserve it. They're paying for it. And so if you've had a bad day, I wanted to remind you to know this, that you must still meet and exceed customers' expectation to go above and beyond for the guest. That is what you would want going to any other restaurant. When you go to a restaurant, and again, you work hard for your money. I don't know, you go to Chili's, you go to Olive Garden, any restaurant you go to, imagine the server has had a bad day for whatever reason, and they have a little bit of a sour tone, and or they're really cold, they're come across indifferent. Is that an experience that you want to have when you go out to eat? I'm sure it's not. That is just not worth money. That's not worth effort and time. Then that is not this team. So know that if you are having a bad day, you must still go above and beyond. And when you are at work, you must know that our customers pay for everything. And so they're here and we're here to serve them. It's not like when you go to school, you know what, you go to school every day anyways, but when you go to work, you making money per minutes that you're there, funded ultimately by our customers, right? So you're here to serve our guests. That's the purpose of why we're here, with a certain set of standards, as I mentioned, and friendliness and smiling is one of them. And so remember that, and that is what you want from a colleague. Imagine you having a colleague who one day has this, the other day the cat died, another day, they're having a rough this, there's some drama going on because I'm not even going to go into the details of that. Point is, how would you feel like working with that kind of a team member who gives of themselves about 70%? They're slow when they are washing dishes. So you may be a closing team member. It's going to take you way longer to close because John is in a sour mood again, because somebody who can't handle their emotion is the kind of a person who is in a bad mood this week, and 3 weeks from now, they're going to be in a bad mood again. That's how a human works. And or someone who is a leader who understands to set their emotions aside because we're at work, and that is dishonoring my team if I don't give my 100%, and it's dishonoring to our guests if I don't give 100%, and that is not who I am. I honor people and I expect the same from others, and that is who I am. So that's the kind of a leadership that's required to succeed in life, just so you know. You sure don't want to have, and that's very normal. This is not really high expectation. If you are, for example, you go to a doctor, do you want that doctor be in a different mood when they serve you, they conduct a surgery on you? You sure want them to have emotional control at the time when they're in a brain surgery, for them to be focused at the task at hand, no matter how horrible of a day they've had. They may have their elderly parent who has cancer and is dying, right? They probably are going to have a very bad week or a very bad day, and that's understandable. However, you sure want them, if they're working on your brain, to be all present and give you 120% of themselves. So what you expect of other people, you must deliver yourself. And that is what I'm saying. Now, there are going to be times that you may genuinely going through a rough season. It comes from you, first off, understanding this is the expectation, this is where you are, and there is a gap. You know what? Some of our team members, their parents are going through a divorce, they've had a death in the family, and those things are horrible. So we want to make sure that first off, we communicate that you've had a thing going on in your life, whatever it is. So you have your manager, you have your leads, and hopefully you have enough rapport with them that you're able to communicate. Listen, my parents are going through a thing, or I'm having a bit of a rough time because, there is a health concerns and my mom may have this, something, whatever it is, communicate. So if you are seeking to be understood, if you want people to be gracious to you, you need to also communicate. If you don't communicate, you can't expect other people to read your mind because we're not psychics. Or I don't know if those people, I'm making a joke about psychics. That's not it. I'm saying people can't read your mind, if you know what I'm saying. So you must communicate. So that's the first step. So if you are actually going genuinely through a rough season and you know that you're not able to meet it, you can't be too friendly right now, you can have a word with your manager and communicate what you're going through kind of vaguely. I'm not saying to provide detail. This is not about drama. It's about none of that. I understand that and we want to respect your privacy, of course. But you may say, listen, is it possible for me to work in the kitchen today if I'm not able to interact with customers? Whatever I'm going through, is it possible for me to work in the dining room, just bussing, clean and what have you? If you need a little bit of space, and that better be once in a while. If that's what you do every week, then nobody's going to really respect you for that because you're just pulling that card because you're trying to avoid work, avoid having those hard conversations or what have you. And that's not going to go around. That's not tolerated. Don't do that to your team. But every now and then you're going to go through something. Communicate with your manager. I know our managers, they go above and beyond for the team always. And we try to work with you as best as we can. And if they can, they will do it. If they can't, you still need to honor. You are on the clock. You are getting paid the same amount as you were. If you are a gem tech, you are pulling tips. So carry your load as best as you can. Give your best. Whatever your best is at the moment is what I'm asking you. On the other hand, I wanted to give you some other tips to help you get through the shift. So one tip, as I shared with you, is for you to choose dishes or a closing task or something else that doesn't involve you interacting with guests. And if you're not able to be bubbly for whatever reason, our customers are not hurt, is what I'm saying. That's one. The other thing I want to tell you is that, you know what? We all have those bad days. No one is safe on planet Earth. It's only a matter of time and nobody gets a pass. We all get sick. We have loved ones who die, all kinds of stuff. This is planet Earth and this is life here. So when those things happen, here are some tips for you. One, this is the time for you to be empathetic to our guests. I know you feel like you're hurting and you want other people to have empathy with you. So if that's what you seek, give it. Give that empathy to a customer who's worked very hard, who may have had a long day, but you know what? They're choosing to come eat our food. They're coming to our building. They want to come see you. So be empathetic, actively listen. When you listen to someone else talk, you somehow forget your own problems. And that's why a lot of times people go watch movies, for example, I don't know, whatever is going on in life. If you go watch a movie for 2 hours, you kind of forget because you're listening. When you're actively listening to someone else, somehow we forget our own stuff, at least temporarily during that interaction. So lean into it. Lean into it yourself, into actively listening to the guest. Ask them how their day was. What are they up to? What are they doing for this weekend? Well, that's wonderful. All the things. Put the attention on the customer. The other one I wanted to give you, this other tip, is positive affirmations. And this is the time that you need to give it to your team. So for example, you work in a team and somebody is going through a rough season. You want to be that person for them. And that is to say, we got this. Let's go. You can do this. You got this, right? Kind of encouraging another team member that is working alongside of you that's having a bad day. But also you can tell that to yourself that yes, you're going through a hard thing and you can do hard things, right? You need to tell yourself, I got this. We got through this. I have 5 more tickets to do, 10 more tickets to do. I can do this. I'll get through this shift. I can put a smile on my face. I am going to go above and beyond. Do you know what I'm saying? So that comes from you speaking that over yourself in your mind. Those are your thoughts. And also you may have another team member who's going through a thing when you go through a Friday night and things are crashing and burning. You be that voice. And we want our team members to be that for us as well, to have that positive attitude at work, verbally especially. Last but not least, I wanted to tell you it is more important than ever to rely on our scripts. When a customer walks in, we just smile and say, hi, welcome to Matangas. It doesn't matter if I have a bad day or you have a good day. This is what we do. When you rely on scripts, it just really takes away everything else. When you go to a table, ma'am, may I clear the table for you? Wonderful. Thank you so much. And that's the script you always say. Stick to the script. Just put a smile on it and move forward. So I wanted to remind you of that more than ever. It's important for us to rely on our scripts that we have for greeting, for customer concerns, for everything. Just go through the motions. Make sure you're obviously, just not saying the words. You need to smile. You need to mean what you say, but relying on our scripts is going to be more important than ever. And just know that your character is being built in life. Your character is being built as you go through hard seasons. You're going to go through seasons where you're very overwhelmed. You have a lot going on. You have the school, you have family, you have this and that. And that is part of joy of life, to go through the ups and downs of life. Everybody goes through that. And I know it is hard. I live it many days. And again, you will get through it. Remind yourself of that. You've done a lot of hard things before. You will get through this also. And make sure your team is there for you and you're there for your team. Communicate above all with your manager, with your colleagues, so they can be gracious and for them to trust that even on your bad days, you are the kind of a leader that puts others, your team and our customers above your needs, especially during the shift at least, and you're able to get through exceeding our guests' expectation.